Ladies and gentlemen, my name is In the Game Kaya, and welcome to ITGK Survive's ARK tutorial series. And it's been a little bit since I've done this series, but it is important to keep up. I was kind of focusing on Fjordur when it first launched. It takes a while to produce those episodes, though, and I haven't produced a tutorial episode in quite a while. So here we are. We're back in the tutorial island, and it's just going to be me today. My brother's only going to join me for the Let's Play portion, which, if you haven't been watching the Let's Play that I've been doing on Fjordur, I very much encourage you to watch it for obvious reasons, but I've been putting a lot more effort into that than I had been my other videos before that point, especially since my brother started joining me on those. But what are we doing today? Well, today we're covering the basics of taming. Now, I'm trying to get to level 21 because we're going to need some things to start taming. So, what are you going to need in order to tame things? Well, you're going to need a foundation to put some crafting stations on, which we already have those. We've already got our base over there. The very first thing you're going to need is your fists. These do apply torpor whenever you hit something. So let's go ahead and level up our weight. Just keep going with that weight. So level 21 is important, and I'll cover that in a sec. But let's tame this dodo over here. So I'm going to need some berries. And when you are taming herbivores, then you're going to want usually mejoberries. And sometimes it's something else. But here we have a dodo. What level is this one? Level 12. So you're going to be pretty easy to knock out then. It shouldn't be level 12. That means that my difficulty settings aren't set to maximum. But that's okay. We don't need maximum difficulty right now. So, for really, really low-level creatures like a dodo that's low-level, or a really low-level Dilophosaur, all you have to do is just punch. And this should... yeah, there it goes. It's unconscious. Now, as this thing lays unconscious, this torpidity, as I punched it, this bar went up. Once it was full, the creature got knocked out. So the key is to fill up this torpidity meter before the health completely empties out. And even the few times I punched it, look, it's already down to 8 health out of 40. So this torpidity meter will drain, and once it drains all the way, this thing will wake up. Well, while this is draining, this food rating is also draining, and that gives them room to eat. So you put these mejoberries in the dodo's inventory, and it will eat. And once it's got its affinity full, then it will wake up, and it will be your tame. So now we have a dodo. They're not super useful, but they do have some uses. Mostly, they are great at producing eggs early game, and you can use that to your advantage if you have 5 or 10 of them or whatever to make some really, really basic kibble. And I'm not going to cover kibble today. That's more advanced taming. I'm just covering the basics. So, we talked about the dodos. That's one type of taming out of probably 3 primary types of taming. For sure, there are 2 main ways of taming creatures. A knockout is the most common way, like we just did with that dodo, and there are various ways to knock out creatures. But this is the other way. This is a Lystrosaurus over here, this level 84 Lystro. And this one you don't want to knock out. It won't accept food if you knock it out. Instead, we're just going to feed it berries as it walks along the ground. And it will continue walking. We've initiated the taming process, and you can see that bar there. It says taming, 19.7%. That, when that gets completely filled up, as we feed it, then it will become ours. So that tells you how far along you are in the taming process. So the higher level a creature is, and the more powerful it is, the longer it's going to take to tame it. Passive tames have a tendency to take a while. A couple of other basic things. Here's the next thing you're going to want to learn. If you open your inventory, up here there are several tabs. So I've already covered the engrams. So let's go to the taming list. And here you can see that dodo we just tamed. If I double click that, it goes away. There's also the Lystro we're in the process of taming. So let's go ahead and click that, or click track all. And now that little hexagon will pop up over it, and no matter how far away we get, it will always point us back towards the creature that we're taming. This is really useful if you have to go run and do something else in the middle of taming, so that you can always get back and find your tame, no problem. This wasn't always in the game, believe it or not, so it's really helpful to have. Now, one last basic thing about taming. As you can see on this little box here, it says Taming Effectiveness 99.7% plus 41 levels. As you tame a creature, that effectiveness goes down. If it takes damage, or you feed it the wrong kind of food or whatever, it'll go down faster. As a creature gets tamed, at taming effectiveness of 100%, gives you as many bonus levels as possible. So as you're taming a creature, you can get it to earn bonus levels based on how efficiently you're taming it. At 100%, it gets an additional half of its levels. So if it's a level 100, a half would be 50, so perfect tame, level 100 would come out as a level 150 post-tame. And we're not getting into breeding or stats or anything today, but just know that you want that effectiveness to be as high as possible. So if your tame gets completely ruined by damage, by forgetting to feed it, or whatever the case might be, you may want to just let the taming reset and then go ahead, knock it out, or start the passive tame again and try it again. So we're just going to finish up taming this Lystro here, and I think I got 2 more feeds on this. This next one should get it pretty much done, but not quite. And I'm going to get some more berries here while we're waiting for it. And this is just the very basic. These are the first couple of tames you're probably going to start out with if you're kind of moving slower and trying to establish a good foundation for yourself instead of rushing straight to mid-game. Or getting higher level tames as soon as possible. Yeah, 98.7%. So, this is almost done. So while we wait for him to starve out that last little bit and get his... I'll go ahead and track it so I can find him in case this takes a while. So as we wait for him to finish with that, now the next way to tame something is with the Slingshot. This is exceptionally primitive. Let's go ahead and learn the Slingshot. And you're going to need stone for this. Thankfully I have some on me. And feet, so you're done. Okay, so I might as well cover the Lystro here real quick now that we have one tamed. It doesn't do much. It moves real slow. It doesn't attack anything. So why do you want to tame it? Especially early game, you want to tame a Lystro of any level. Does not matter what level it is. You want to tame a Lystro of any level, so you can do this. Pet it. You see that little arrow? That means that it's buffing the XP gain of everything in the area, and that includes you. So your other dinos, like this dodo, or other Lystros, or whatever you might have in the area, they're all earning extra experience. So we have our Slingshot now. I'm going to hit semicolon on my keyboard to make sure that these creatures don't attack things that might be in the area. So whistle passive. Let's see if we can find ourselves another dodo or something that we can hit with a Slingshot. There's a dodo. Be careful not to hit the Bronto. That thing will kill me. Dodo, level 16. So we're just going to pull back. This does more torpor and less damage than your fists, so it'll knock things out much faster. It's better, but this is still something that you're only going to use to knock out really low-level creatures. Dodos, Dilophosaurs, exceptionally low-level Parasaurs, that kind of thing. So now we have our second dodo. Go ahead and take this back home. And I can show you the next way of taming something, or the next thing that you're going to need, which I believe is the wooden club. So let's get this thing inside with the other dodo. Now, are our dodos opposite gendered? They are. So when a male and a female creature are next to each other, they will get a little heart icon above their heads. Now that usually means, well, for one, the heart icon means that they have a mate or a creature of the opposite gender, the same species, near them. So they take less damage and deal extra damage. So for armies and stuff like that, you're going to want to focus on that. At the start of the game, it really doesn't matter. There are also breeding, which we're not going to get into today, but obviously you're going to need a male and a female in order to start the breeding line. Not too serious for dodos, unless you're looking to make kibble. So now let's take a look at our engrams. Okay. The next thing on the list here is mortar and pestle and narcotic, and you're going to need both of these. And the reason you're going to want this narcotic, which you craft in the mortar and pestle. So let's craft ourselves a mort and pestle. Mortar and pestle. And that takes quite a bit of stone, so I'm going to need more stone for my slingshot. And there I'm level 21, so we've hit that level mark. Okay, mortar and pestle. Put that over here. Spoiled meat. Narco berries. This is all you're going to need to make narcotics. Come in here, go in. Okay, let me show you. Consumables, drugs, and then click on narcotics and hit the A key. And that will start crafting narcotics. This is a great way to earn experience early in the game. You see I just earned a massive chunk of experience here. So we're going to let it go ahead and craft that up. And this will keep creatures knocked out. Narco berries will as well. Like you saw when I had the dodo knocked out and its torpidity was draining, some creatures will not be able to finish taming. Even on these accelerated settings that I'm playing on, some creatures will not be able to finish taming before that torpidity drains all the way. So there are a handful of ways to raise it. Obviously you could just punch it or do whatever you did to knock it out again, but that's going to reduce taming effectiveness. Narco berries will raise its torpidity without reducing taming effectiveness, but it's really slow and not very powerful. Narcotics are far more potent than narco berries, and they require spoiled meat. So there we go. We've got our narcotics. Do not consume those unless you really want to take a nap. Go ahead and close the door. Okay, so we've covered narcotics, and I can show you how that works when we knock out our next creature. So let's go ahead and cover these next two at the same time. Wooden club and bola. So let's craft ourselves a bola first. Bola. I need more stone. Okay. Forgot I pulled all of my tools out of my hotbar. So we'll get some more stone. Alright. Let's craft ourselves a bola. And a club. Okay. So, pull out the bola on our hotkey, or our hotbar, and we'll go find maybe a Dilophosaur would be nice to tame. I am going to need something to kill for meat, actually. So let's take a look down this beach here and see what there is to see. There's a Spino. So let's not get too close to that thing. Hopefully that trike kills it. I'd rather not deal with a Spino right now. Okay, turtle. Here's a dodo. Plenty of dodos. Copies. Well, I've got my meat now. I want to tame something other than just more dodos, but I might be stuck with dodo taming because I'm kind of limited in what I can tame right now. And there's a lot of dodos over here. I don't see any dillos in the area. Okay. Someone's going to yell at me in the comments because I didn't see a dillo that was on the beach. Almost got that weight up to 300. So I'll just go ahead and show you what the Bola does on the dillo, or on the dodo. You should be able to figure it out. So what this does is you hold the left click to start winding it up, and you're going to throw it. When you throw it, it wraps itself around a creature and keeps them in place. So they will not be able to move away from you. And this works on all small creatures. Now let's use the wooden club, just like we were using our fists. We're going to knock it unconscious. And we're going to throw some berries in it. Actually, I might be able to knock out this Pteranodon here real quick, so let's see if I can do that. Because this will be a far better demonstration. Let me see if I can do this. It's probably too high of a level. Oh, got it. All right. Okay, so we'll throw the meat in. Now, I'll go ahead and throw in one narcotic, so you can see its torpidity is going down. I hit E on the narcotic, and it goes right back up. So that's what the narcotic is for. There's another really important thing that narcotic is used for. So we've got our dodo. Let's go ahead and track our Pteranodon. Is this a male? It is. Really, with dodos, you only need the one male. So enjoy your swim. I don't need you. And Pteranodons, because they're considerably more powerful than these other things that we've been taming, they're going to take a lot longer to tame. And I'm also taming it on raw meat. This is a carnivorous creature, so it eats... Okay, the dodo's gone. It is a carnivorous creature, so it does eat meat, not berries. And what you do not want to do is force feed it to get it to tame faster. Because you can hit E and you can feed this creature food, but that's going to keep this food stat up, and it's not going to gain any taming effectiveness. You need to let it eat from its inventory naturally. So while we're waiting for that Pteranodon, let's go ahead and take a look at our engrams again. I was going to wait to tame the Pteranodon until we got to here. But once you get past level 9, then at level 10 you're going to need the bow and stone arrow. And you're not going to use the stone arrows immediately, but those are important for something all the way down at level 21. Like I said, I was trying to get to 21. Something really important at 21 is Tranq Arrows. And this is something you're going to use until you are in the mid to late game. Probably mid game. The Tranq Arrows. Now, at first you're just going to be shooting them out of your bow. But let's go ahead and craft ourselves a bow. This is a great weapon to have early in the game. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and craft 2. We'll put our slingshot in here. And we're going to need some arrows. Only 5. Okay, arrows take thatch. So there's our thatch. They take fiber, which we have more than enough of. And they take flint. So let's go ahead and get some flint. Ow. And how are you doing on torpidity? You're alright. $62 arrows, that's more like it. And all it takes to make a Tranq Arrow is just stone arrows and narcotics. So I'm going to go ahead and queue those up. And we will have one bow for regular arrows and one bow for Tranq Arrows, so I can switch back and forth quickly. There we go. Let's go ahead and give you a couple narco berries. Again, as you can see, it goes up, but not nearly as much as it does with the narcotic. So you're going to want to mostly be using narcotics if you can. I get myself a drink. So these arrows are much better at dealing torpor than any of the other methods that we've covered so far. Once you get these, you're going to want to be using almost exclusively these. So this is another male dodo. We don't need you. We'll just go ahead and kill you. Get the meat and hide. Let's see if we can find ourselves another female dodo. There's enough of them around here. Okay, here's a female dodo, so don't kill it. It killed it. That is one thing you're going to have to be careful with. It is much better at knocking things out, but it also does quite a bit of damage. So something that's really weak, like that dodo, is just going to die. So, male dodo level 8, you're useless. There's a Dimorphodon. Okay. I just need to find something that I can knock out with this arrow. Oh, perfect. An iguanodon. That'll work. So let's craft ourselves another bola so it doesn't move. Go ahead and put this over here. 7. Line this up. Get nice and close. Hit it like that. Stay far enough away it can't hit me. You want to try and get headshots if you can. They don't register on every creature, but it will do extra torpor if it does. And there it goes, it's unconscious. So we'll just go ahead and throw all of this stuff in here. You're going to need more measure berries than that. But you saw how effective that was at knocking out this iguanodon. And iguanodons are great for harvesting berries and carrying stuff around for you early in the game. So having one of these guys is a good idea. Most people use parasaurs because they're just about as good for the same thing. And they're far easier to find usually. So let's check our Pteranodon. And if you just hover the middle of your screen over that icon, it'll pop up the little taming window and tell you how far along it is. So it looks like it's going to finish taming here in just a second. There's the Pteranodon. Okay. Now I cannot... Yeah, I can't craft saddles for either of these creatures yet. So we'll have to cover riding creatures in another video. But yes, these bigger creatures like Pteranodons and Iguanodons, just about anything larger than yourself really, you can ride them. You almost always have to craft a saddle for them. But like this is a flyer. So you can saddle this and then ride it and fly around the map. So Pteranodons are great for that. Great for getting you up and moving. And the thing about Pteranodons is the saddle doesn't unlock until I think it's level 38. Yeah, Pteranodon, level 38. So you have to be leveled up quite a bit before you're able to use it. Do I have enough to make myself a raft? Just more wood is all I need. So, here's a structure that you can build. You're going to want early in the game to help you get around the ocean and rivers. And it's great for pumping in levels. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll get ourselves like that. Okay. And this functions almost like a tame. You can ride it. You can drive it. You can build structures on it, like that house we have over there. I could put those foundations on this raft. And now that I'm over that specific level, all I need is a little bit more wood. Stop the tracking. Okay. So if you right click, you can swap between stances on the Iguanodon. All four legs, they move a little bit faster and they have far more stamina. Or just on its hind legs, they burn more stamina. They don't move quite as fast, but it's great at gathering berries. So look at all the Mejo berries, the Narco berries, and you're just going to want to level weight on either your first Iguanodon or Parasaur, because you're just going to use it for hauling stuff. So let's go ahead and get these two creatures back home. And you just press T to make a creature follow you, Y to make it stop following, J to make all the creatures in the area follow you, and U to make all the creatures in the area stop following you. I'm going to have to dump some of these berries. There we go. So hit U. Now if a creature is following another creature, U doesn't work. You have to look at it and push Y to get it to stop. And if a flyer is hovering in the air, you can... Oh, well, okay, there it goes to land. I was going to say you could push the tilde key to get it to land. That's the funny-looking one above tab, in case you're curious. But that should be everything. I'm going to go get my boat and bring it over here. That is basically taming in a nutshell. We covered knockout taming, we covered passive taming, narcotics, and various ways to knock things out, including tranquilizing arrows. And at this point, you have everything to know, everything you need to know to start taming up creatures. I would just go ahead and assume that most creatures you're going to want to tame are knockout tames. They're not all knockout tames, but most of them will be. It is the most popular way to tame creatures in ARK. So let's go ahead and get on the raft. I'll sail this back home, and then I will be done with the episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode of the tutorial on the basics of taming. So I'm not sure exactly what the next episode will be in the tutorial series. I'll probably cover exploration, basic traversal, things like that. Hopefully I'll be a high enough level I can build a Pteranodon saddle. That'll make getting around and doing things quite a bit easier. And pretty soon we'll be covering individual creatures and their uses and abilities, what kind of stats you'll be looking for. There's still so much to cover on breeding, individual biome survival, and all of those kinds of things. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. It does seem to be more popular than my Let's Play, so I'd assume you guys are, at least somewhat. If you have anything you want me to cover, please leave it in the comment section. Let me know. If you have any questions, I might just answer it there. I might make a video about it. ARK is a very difficult game to learn, and it took me hours and hours and hours to learn myself. And I didn't watch tutorial series to learn any of this. It was mostly trial and error and learning from other people in the tribe that I was with. But that's going to do it for today's video. So please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future tutorials and my Let's Play series. And I hope you guys have a good day. See you in the next one.